The ageless diet. How many of you would like to age less? All right, everybody would. Who has heard of the ageless diet? Well, very few people have, and it's something that you need to hear about. And I want to talk about something called gerotoxins. So they are a group of toxins that cause our cells to grow old, and therefore you to grow old. One of them is advanced glycation improducts, or in short known as AGEs. Now they occur naturally in certain foods, and mostly foods that are of an animal origin. When you cook these foods, it generates more AGEs. In fact, when you dry heat cook these foods, you get 10 to 100 times more AGEs formed. I'm going to show you how that's significant that is in just a minute. But the acronym AGE is very appropriate because this does make you age. And the word comes from the Greek. If you think of geriatrics, well, that's a Greek origin meaning old age. So AGEs are thought to accelerate aging by cross-linking proteins. Now just keep that in mind. I'm going to explain that more. But your proteins are not supposed to be cross-linked. They're supposed to be lined up all nice and even. And your DNA, the same thing. When they cross-link, it causes tissue stiffness, oxidative stress, and inflammation. Just think of the skin of an old person. That's AGEs that have occurred. Now your body has tens of billions of miles of DNA inside it. In fact, if you take all your DNA out and you put it end to end, you could go to the moon and back 100,000 times. That's how much DNA you have. So how does our body keep all of this DNA from getting tangled up? Well, it's pretty creative because of our Creator. Here's your DNA. It's wound around a protein, and it's wound by something called sirtuins. So here's an easy way to think of it. Your DNA is the thread, your protein is the spool, and the sirtuins wind that up and keep it nice and tight. Now when it begins to unravel or cross-link, you get plaque and tangles. If you look at an Alzheimer's brain, they get these tangles inside the neurons, and they get amyloid plaque, and everything starts to not work correctly, and people lose their memory and their brain function. Sirtuin suppression is caused by more of these AGEs. So we want to limit the AGEs so we keep our DNA nice and tightly wound like it's supposed to be. It's a highly effective way to slow down aging by limiting these AGEs. So where do they come from? Meat. Meat has 20 times more AGEs than highly processed food. Now, highly processed food is really bad for you, but meat has more AGEs in it. And meat has 150 times more than fresh fruits and vegetables. That's why we want you eating lots of fresh fruits and vegetables. And this may surprise you, but poultry tends to be the worst, with 20% more AGEs than beef. Research concluded that even a modest reduction in meat intake could realistically cut the AGEs in your body in half. And that's one of the things we promote on the 7 Systems Plan is decreasing animal protein and increasing plant protein. But let's talk about cooking. When you cook meat with dry heat, you get a lot of AGE formation. This dry heating causes the meat to release reactive amino acids, lipids, and reducing sugars, and that leads to AGE formation. So what is the worst way to cook meat and the best? Well, the worst would be oven frying, and then frying, then broiling, then roasting. The best would be stewing and steaming. Let me show you how significant the cooking method is for formation of AGEs. They have two groups of people, and one is given a fried meal. Now this is chicken breast and vegetables basically, but it's fried. And the other group is given steamed chicken breast and vegetables. And then they look to see what happened. Well, the frying caused high AGE formation and an almost immediate profound impairment of vascular function within hours for a significant period of time. What's that mean? It means your blood vessels basically shut down and don't work correctly. The small and large blood vessels. They tested 500 foods to see which one had the most AGEs, and here is the list. Number one, absolute worst for AGE formation, barbecue chicken breast. And if you're going to barbecue something and you put something sugary on top, marinating, it can really increase the AGE formation. Number two is bacon. Number three, broiled hot dogs. Number four, roasted chicken thigh. And number five, roasted chicken leg. You notice how much chicken was in there. So the AGEless diet is given the name because it helps you age less, and it doesn't involve calorie restriction or exercise or medication. It simply involves cutting down the AGEs that come into your body and changing the method that you cook your meat.